Stop for a moment and think about your last walk. Not yesterday, not last week, just the way you normally walk without thinking. Because what I'm about to tell you may completely change how you see something you've done your entire life. Most people believe walking is the safest, most natural form of exercise, something that cannot go wrong, something that automatically improves health just by doing it. But after 50, that assumption becomes dangerous. Not because walking is bad, but because the way you walk can either rebuild your body or slowly break it down without you realizing it. I see this pattern almost every single day. People come into my clinic frustrated. They tell me, "Doctor, I walk every day. I do everything right. So why am I getting worse?" Knee pain that wasn't there before, lower back stiffness that shows up after every walk, heavy legs, fatigue, even dizziness. And the most common sentence I hear is this: "I thought walking was supposed to help." And they're right. It is supposed to help, but only when it's done correctly. Because after 50, your body is no longer forgiving. It doesn't ignore small mistakes anymore, it amplifies them. Let me explain why. After the age of 50, your body begins a predictable shift. Muscle mass declines, joint lubrication decreases, balance becomes less precise, and your nervous system processes movement differently than it did 20 years ago. None of this happens overnight. It's slow, subtle, and easy to ignore, but it changes everything about how your body responds to movement. Walking is no longer just movement after 50. It becomes a stimulus, a signal that tells your body how to adapt. Walk correctly and your body strengthens. Walk incorrectly and your body compensates, and compensation is where damage begins. Today, I'm going to show you 7 walking mistakes that seem harmless but are quietly damaging your joints. These are not obvious mistakes. They are subtle, they feel normal. That's exactly why they are dangerous. Let's start with something that feels completely natural, but is one of the most damaging patterns: walking with uneven stride. This is not something people notice easily. You don't wake up one day thinking, "My steps are uneven." But over time, small imbalances develop. One leg becomes slightly stronger, one hip slightly tighter, one side of your body begins to carry more load. Shorter steps on one side, longer steps on the other. At first, this feels like nothing, but your joints notice, your knees notice, your hips notice. This is one of the most common hidden causes of knee pain after 50. Not injury, not arthritis, imbalance. The more you walk with this imbalance, the stronger the pattern becomes. Your body reinforces it. It becomes your normal. The correction is simple, but it requires awareness. Slow your pace slightly and pay attention to your steps. Are they symmetrical? Now let's move to something even more subtle: walking without engaging your core. Your core, the deep muscles around your abdomen and lower back, are responsible for stabilizing every movement. Without core engagement, your spine becomes unstable during walking. Your lower back tightens, your hips shift. A simple adjustment can make a massive difference. As you walk, gently draw your abdomen inward, not forcefully, just enough to create support. You should feel your posture stabilize. Your steps become smoother. This reduces strain across your entire system. Now, here is a mistake that almost everyone makes, especially those trying to walk faster for health. Mistake number 1 is overstriding. This is a common error. This is when your steps are too long for your natural rhythm. It feels productive. It feels like you're covering more ground. But biomechanically, it's a problem. When you overstride, your foot lands too far in front of your body. This creates a braking force with every step. Instead of moving forward smoothly, your body is constantly slowing itself down and restarting. That force travels directly into your joints. Your knees take the impact, your hips absorb the shock, your lower back compensates. Over time, this leads to joint irritation, stiffness, and even chronic pain. Efficient walking is not about longer steps, it's about smoother steps. Your feet should land under your body, not far ahead of it. Shorter, controlled steps reduce impact and improve flow. This one correction alone can significantly reduce knee stress. Now let's talk about something most people ignore completely: your breathing. When people walk, they rarely think about how they breathe. It just happens automatically. But after 50, automatic breathing during activity is often inefficient. Shallow breathing, chest-dominant breathing, irregular rhythm, this limits oxygen delivery. And when your muscles don't get enough oxygen, fatigue builds faster. You feel tired sooner, your performance drops, and your recovery slows down. There is also another layer here. Breathing affects your nervous system. Shallow, rapid breathing signals stress. It keeps your body in a slightly elevated state of tension, which means your muscles never fully relax during movement. Now imagine walking for 30 minutes in that state. You're not just exercising, you're reinforcing tension. The correction is simple but powerful. Sync your breathing with your steps. For example, inhale for 3 steps, exhale for 3 steps. Keep it natural, keep it steady. This creates rhythm, it improves oxygen flow, and it calms your nervous system at the same time. Walking becomes more efficient and less exhausting. Now, I want to show you something that might surprise you, because it's not about how you move, it's about when you move, walking at the wrong time of day. Most people walk whenever it's convenient, morning, afternoon, evening. But after 50, timing matters more than you think. Your body has rhythms, hormonal cycles, energy patterns, circulation fluctuations. Walking at the wrong time can reduce benefits or even increase strain. For example, early morning walking without proper warm up can stress stiff joints. Late evening walking after fatigue has set in can increase the risk of imbalance or poor posture. The most effective walking window for many people over 50 is mid morning or late afternoon, when your body is naturally more flexible, your circulation is more active, and your energy is more stable. This is when walking feels easier and works better. Now, we're going to go deeper because the next mistakes are not just about mechanics. They're about how your body adapts over time. And this is where most long-term damage actually begins. The moment you think you fixed your walking, most people make a second, quieter mistake that undoes everything we just talked about. And this is the part almost nobody notices because it doesn't feel wrong. It feels normal, comfortable even. But over time, it is one of the fastest ways to turn walking from a healing habit into a source of chronic pain. I'm talking about stride length. Watch how people walk in any park. You'll see two extremes. Some people take very short, shuffling steps. Others overstride, reaching their leg far out in front with every step, almost like they're trying to cover as much ground as possible in the shortest time. Both patterns create problems, but overstriding is the one I see causing the most damage after 50. Here's what actually happens when you overstride. When your foot lands too far in front of your body, your heel strikes the ground while your leg is almost fully extended. That creates a braking force. Instead of your movement flowing forward, your body is essentially stopping itself with every step. That force travels straight up through your heel into your knee joint. Your knee is not designed to absorb force in that locked, extended position. Over time, this repeated impact stresses the cartilage, increases joint inflammation, and contributes directly to knee pain. Many people think their knees are wearing out. In reality, they are walking in a way that accelerates that wear. Now compare that to a shorter, controlled stride. When your foot lands closer to your center of mass, your knee remains slightly bent. That allows your muscles, especially your quadriceps and glutes, to absorb the impact instead of your joint surfaces. The movement becomes smoother, quieter, and far more efficient. If you want a simple correction, listen to your steps. Loud, heavy footsteps usually mean overstriding. Quiet, light steps mean your mechanics are closer to optimal. Another cue is this. Imagine you are walking on thin ice. Instantly, your steps become shorter and more controlled. Now, there is another layer to this that most people never consider, your walking speed. People often ask me, what is the perfect walking speed? And the answer surprises them. There is no single perfect speed. There is a perfect effort level. Walking too slowly, with no elevation in heart rate, does very little for your cardiovascular system. But walking too fast, pushing yourself into breathlessness, especially without proper conditioning, creates unnecessary stress on your heart and joints. The ideal zone is conversational pace. You should be able to speak in full sentences but not sing comfortably. That means your heart rate is elevated enough to stimulate adaptation, but not so high that you are overloading your system. This balance becomes more important with age because your recovery capacity changes. You are no longer training just for performance, you are training for longevity. Now let's talk about something even more subtle, but just as important, where your feet point when you walk. This sounds trivial, but it has massive implications for your knees and hips. Some people walk with their toes turned outward, others point them inward. Both create abnormal rotational forces through the knee joint. Your knee is primarily a hinge joint. It is designed to bend and extend, not to rotate under load. When your feet are angled too far in or out, every step introduces a twisting force that your knee has to absorb. Over thousands of steps per day, that adds up. The ideal position is straightforward. Your feet should point mostly forward with a very slight natural outward angle. If you look down and see your toes pointing dramatically outward or inward, that is something worth correcting. And here's the important part. Don't force your feet into position aggressively. Instead, focus on your hips. When your hips are stable and aligned, your feet tend to follow. Weak hip muscles, especially the gluteus medius, often cause the knees to collapse inward and the feet to rotate. Strengthening those muscles off the walking path improves your walking mechanics on the path. This is why walking alone is sometimes not enough. It works best as part of a system. Now I want to address a mistake that is not physical but behavioral: ignoring pain. People feel discomfort while walking and they push through it. They tell themselves it is normal. This mindset works in your 20s. It does not work after 50. Pain is information. It is your body telling you that something is not right. There is a difference between effort and pain. Effort feels like fatigue. Pain feels sharp or localized. If you feel pain in your knees, hips, or lower back, do not dismiss it. Adjust something. And if the pain persists, get it evaluated. Early correction prevents long-term damage. Now let's shift to something positive. Walking benefits extend into your brain. Walking is one of the most powerful tools for maintaining cognitive function as you age. It increases blood flow to key areas and encourages the growth of new neural connections. In simpler terms, walking helps your brain stay sharp. But there is a condition: you have to be mentally present. If you are constantly distracted or scrolling on your phone, you lose part of that benefit. When you pay attention to your surroundings and your breathing, you engage your brain more fully. This why mindful walking can feel mentally refreshing in a way that distracted walking does not. Now, there is one more mistake, and it is something that almost everyone gets wrong: inconsistent breathing. Your breathing pattern directly affects your endurance, oxygen delivery, and even your posture. Shallow breathing limits oxygen intake. Deep rhythmic breathing improves oxygenation. Here is a simple technique. Match your breathing to your steps. Inhale for 3 steps. Exhale for 3 steps. The exact pattern is less important than the rhythm. This creates a natural flow. When your breathing becomes rhythmic, your entire walk becomes more efficient. Your mind settles. Walking is a coordinated system involving your muscles, joints, heart, lungs, and brain. When one part is off, the whole system feels it. But when everything works together, the effect is powerful. None of these corrections require expensive equipment. These are small adjustments that compound over time. They can be the difference between walking with pain and walking with ease and maintaining independence. After 50, walking is no longer just exercise. It is a primary tool to maintain your quality of life. It determines how easily you move, how stable you feel, and how sharp your mind stays. So here is what I want you to do. On your next walk, do not try to fix everything at once. Pick one thing. Do it consistently for a week, then add another. That is how real, lasting improvement happens. As you feel the difference, you will understand your body is not breaking down. It is responding to how you use it. Use it well, and it will serve you well for years to come. In the final part, I will show you how to turn walking into a complete daily system for your longevity. Now, let me show you how to take everything you've learned so far and turn it into something that actually works in real life. Because information by itself does nothing. What matters is how you apply it when you step outside your door tomorrow morning. Most people treat walking as a single activity, but the people who get the real lasting benefits turn walking into a system. A simple, repeatable structure that supports your body before, during, and after every walk. Let's start with what happens before you even take your first step. Your nervous system needs a transition. Before every walk, take 1 minute, roll your shoulders back 5 times, gently turn your head left and right, take deep breaths. This preparation changes how your muscles activate, how your joints move, and how your heart responds to the effort. Now we move into the walk itself. The priority isn't distance or calories, it is the quality of movement. As you walk, cycle through 3 simple check-ins. First, posture. Is your head stacked? Are your shoulders relaxed? Second, stride. Are you landing under your body? And third, rhythm. Are your arms moving naturally? Duration matters too. If 30 continuous minutes feels like a barrier, think in segments. Consistency is what counts. A 10-minute walk in the morning, afternoon, and evening gives you the same or even better physiological benefits. Immediately after your walk is where most people drop the ball. What you do in the next 5 minutes is critical. First, water immediately. Second, gentle stretching for your calves, thighs, and hips to prevent stiffness. Finally, progression. Your body adapts to what you repeat. To keep improving, you need to progress safely. Increase your time by 5 minutes or add short intervals of faster walking and gentle inclines to keep your body adapting. Turn your walk into a system and you'll see the difference. It's about intentional movement for long term health. Now, I want to talk about something that ties everything together, and that is consistency. Not perfection, consistency. You don't need the perfect walk every day. You don't need perfect posture, perfect breathing, perfect timing. What you need is repetition. Because the real benefits of walking do not come from a single session, they come from what happens over weeks and months. Your joints become more stable, your muscles become stronger, your circulation improves, your balance becomes more reliable. These changes are gradual, but they are real. And here is the part that most people underestimate. Walking is one of the few forms of exercise that directly supports independence as you age. It keeps you mobile, it reduces your risk of falls, it allows you to perform daily tasks without assistance. That is not a small benefit, that is quality of life. Now, I want you to think about something for a moment. Two people at 65, one has been walking consistently with good habits for the past 10 years. The other has been mostly inactive or walking incorrectly. They may look similar on the outside, but inside, their bodies are very different. One has stronger muscles, healthier joints, better circulation, and more stable balance. The other is more fragile, more prone to pain, and more limited in movement. The difference is not genetics, it is daily habits. And walking, done correctly, is one of the most powerful of those habits. So here is your simple action plan. Before your next walk, take 1 minute to prepare your body. Start slow for the first few minutes. Pay attention to one element at a time: posture, stride, or rhythm. Walk at a pace where you can talk, but not effortlessly. Let your arms move naturally. Keep your phone out of your hands. After your walk, drink water and spend 5 minutes stretching. Repeat this consistently. That's it. No complexity, no confusion, just a system that works. And as you follow it, you will start to notice changes. Walking feels easier. Your body feels lighter. The small aches begin to fade. That is your body responding, because your body is always adapting. The only question is, what are you teaching it? If you teach it poor movement, it adapts in the wrong direction. If you teach it correct movement consistently, it adapts in your favor. That is the opportunity you have right now. So the next time you step outside for a walk, don't just walk, walk with intention. Because after 50, how you walk matters just as much as whether you walk at all.